Here's an example in a 2018 Jeep Compass where Jeep should just be ashamed of themselves. This stereo system is such a piece of junk. Basically, there's something wrong with the display. It's a common problem, maybe even on some other vehicles, but the 2018 Jeep Compass has it for sure. Basically, it just changes channels all on its own whenever it wants. The display is screwed up. It's so sensitive. So as you're driving, it could turn the air conditioner on, or it could turn the heater on, or it can change channels repeatedly, or go from FM to AM. So I've been dealing with this for a long time. Supposedly there's a fix where you got to take this trim out, remove the stereo, and remove the cover off of it, clean all the glue off of it, and then make like a spacer and put the cover back on it. I may attempt to mess around with it. It's gotten to the point now, you can see it's just changing. There it goes, it just went to AM. It's actually agonizing to drive with this piece of junk because you just have no control of anything. So maybe once I remove the stereo, I can at least use the other controls down there for my heater or my air conditioner. But as long as this stereo system is connected with it, it takes control of any function and basically does the opposite of whatever you want.
Every day, but you can find your future, run into your past. You can.
There's just some examples of this piece of junk and how terrible it is to have a stereo like this. And unfortunately, the stereo is used for for way more than just radio. You know, I mean, you got all your controls on it for everything the car can do, even the navigation. Let's try some navigation. All right, there it goes. Look at this. The navigation even has a mind of its own. It's picking addresses and things that mean absolutely nothing to me. Just does whatever it wants. All right, I used a tool like this to pry all of these push pins out of these various holes. My trim actually cracked a little on me. It was extremely difficult to get out. The vent should come out with it. This one on this side came out with the bezel. The other one kind of broke, so I removed it, and I'll have to glue that. So that wasn't very successful, taking this trim piece off. I mean, worst case scenario, I'll buy a new trim piece, but I'm pretty confident I'll get it pieced back in there. So it looks like now I'm taking a, I don't know, a Torque 25 maybe, 29. I can't really see what that says. And loosening up the 4 bolts that actually hold the stereo in, and then I'm going to have various things to unplug. So that's where I am now. But you can see the problem. Do you see this crazy mark? It looks like a watermark. There's something wrong with these stereos, with this display. And you basically have to take this bezel off of here, clean all the glue out of there, and then put like a spacer behind it. People recommend like double-sided 3M tape. So we'll see how that goes. But to me, I mean, obviously this is out of warranty. So for me, it's worth trying to mess around with it and fix it. All right, it looks like the 4 bolts that I took out on the corner of the stereo were Torque 25s. So here's the stereo. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 small cables, then 1 large multi-conductor. The cables have like a felt on them of some sort, probably just to try to keep them quiet in there around all this plastic. So that's my next thing, is I'm going to undo these plugs right here. So you take a small screwdriver. You see that tab at the top? You push in right there. You push in right towards there on these small plugs. You can see right there. I'll push in right there, and then pull out at the same time. It's also surprisingly, on this piece of junk stereo, how hot this thing is. Okay, all the cables are out. They're color coded actually. If you look at the colors of these, you've got like a light purple, a gold or yellow or white, a dark purple, a gray. They're all color coded on the back of the stereo. And then you can see you got all these pins right here on the main connector. As I said, this thing is quite hot. So it looks like the next thing that I'm going to have to do, you can see these little tabs right here. I'm going to carefully undo these tabs and try to get this metal cover off. I've got some glue there. It's already kind of sticky, but I'm going to try to separate this thing and get a better look at this and see what exactly is going on here. Here's a look at the bezel. You can see the little heater duct louvers come out with it. That one right there broke off. I just have it kind of sitting in place. I'll be able to fix it, but you can see what it looks like right there. That's the direction it normally goes in. Let's see if it'll stay in position. There we go. And then that clip right there broke. And it's basically these little white plastic clips, blue. So I lost one right there. Not the end of the world. Okay, here's the digitizer screen. You can see the ribbon cable right here. As soon as I started taking mine apart, the glass started breaking. Really sad. And after doing some research, this will be the part. I'll have to buy like a version of this on eBay. You can't even find this thing anywhere. You can find some versions of this from eBay from China, and they put an LG sticker on it. But this is such a common problem in these new Jeep display stereo systems. This screen here, I believe, is called the Digitizer. And sad to say, this screen now is $300. The cheapest I found it on eBay was $369. And then I'll have to hook up this ribbon cable right here and another cable from the stereo into the Digitizer screen. And you can see this is a Mopar original right here. Look at this. Made in China right there. And epic failure, known to be a failure, a problem all over the Jeep world, the Dodge Ram. This is the 8.4-inch screen that has navigation, Apple CarPlay, and all of that. So anyway, right now the important thing is I can run my car and use my heater and air conditioner with the manual controls. I just have a big wide opening where the stereo was. And then I save the back of the stereo. And should I choose, I'd have to buy a new Digitizer screen. For the cheapest I found it was $369. And then put it all back together, hook up the ribbon cables and so forth, and get it back installed. So I was afraid of this. I kind of expected it. But it got to the point while I was driving where I could not take it any longer. Nothing in the car that took an electrical signal worked properly. Okay, here's the core of the stereo, what's left. So here's the little metal screen that goes over the Digitizer. So this will get reused. You can see I got a little wire that I kept all attached. This board I kept in place. So this ribbon cable here would go into the Digitizer. And then there's a cable that'll come with the new one from the Digitizer that'll go in here. And basically you line up these ribbon cables and see how that just closes. You got to get it lined up perfectly, and then you close that little flap right there. So that's a look at it right there. There it is. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts. And then there's all my connections. All those wiring harnesses are in the dashboard of the Jeep Compass. So anyway, not happy about this. I kind of expected it. I tried to nurse it along as I could. Just got to the point where I couldn't take it any longer. So sadly, it looks like I'm going to have to buy a new screen. You can't even get these from a dealership. And it looks like it's a Chinese version, another Chinese version, I should say, found on eBay for anywhere from $360 to $460. Sad to say. All right, once again, back inside the Jeep Compass. And yeah, what a shit show, huh? I mean, I could push this bezel back in and make it look a little better, and maybe I will do that, although it was very, very difficult to get that out, and a couple little clips broke, but it'll go back in. You can see the ducts in the back here where the air will come in. But now I just got to use all the manual controls, so at least I'll be able to have a heater, a defroster, an air conditioner as needed. But the way it was working before is this car had a mind of its own. It was like possessed. Got to the point where I could not take it any longer. So for now, I'm going to keep this as it is. And I guess if I want any music or sound system, I'll be listening to the iPhone speaker. All right, Recon Jeeper out. So yeah, kind of an annoying day for the Jeep Compass. I mean, the Jeep Compass, this is a 2018. You know, it's decent on gas. It's a good commuter. I'll give it that. I put some nice high-end tires on it. It was always good in the snow. I'll give it that. It has a lot of bells and whistles, but a lot of them don't work. I mean, the car kind of rattles a lot. Quite honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that I put a lot of miles on this car and it's a good commuter, I'd have got rid of it a long time ago. The stereo just got to the point where I just couldn't take it any longer. And there's some other things about it that drive me crazy. The sway bar in this thing, you got to buy the entire bar, not just the disconnects in the front. That thing was rattling at less than, I don't know, probably 30,000 miles. So it's kind of a clunky driving car. You know, it is what it is. They get quite a bit for these cars, sad to say. What would I give it on a 1 to 10? Honestly, take into consideration, it's decent in the snow. Take into consideration, you know, it looks nice. It's good on gas. That's probably its best attribute. But 1 to 10, I'm giving this Jeep Compass a 3 or a 4. All right, it is what it is. We'll keep her up and running because it does do the job.